I own and operate Koala Insulation in Denver North. It is actually a franchise. We do all types of insulation, so crawl spaces, attics, and really everything from spray foam, which is super technical, to a loose fill product. I won't get too technical with all of it, but most of it is in the home, helping people save money on their energy bills is where most of it comes from, and educating customers on tax credits, building envelopes, and all that fun stuff. My career path has been very messy, mostly since COVID. Pre-COVID, I was actually in hospitality for 15 years, doing meetings and events. But I am a multi-generational construction family. So my dad is a general contractor, and my family actually helped build most of South Denver. So I think it was just in my blood to do this one day. So now I'm jumping in attics and crawl spaces.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Holly Murray, and I'm the brand president of First Team. We do restoration work. So if you guys have ever had a water damage, fire damage, smoke damage inside your home or business. So for example, your school recently had a fire, right? And it filled with smoke. So our company comes in and takes all the contents, so everything that's inside of a home or a business, and cleans and restores it back to how it was before the fire, before the smoke damage, or before the water damage. And we do this across the country. I'm the brand president of the franchisor, so we sell franchisees across the country and in Canada to offer these services anywhere in the United States. And I know it sounds like it's not a very busy career, but it is. It's over $1 billion industry. And a little bit about my career path. I was going to college, and while I was at school, I got a job working for this company. And at the time, there were 2 locations just on the West Coast, and I worked my way up through the company through lots of hard work, and eventually moved into ownership when I started opening offices. And then in 2007, we started the national franchise company and started selling franchises across the country. So when you think about restoration and you think about contents, it's everything from dry cleaning to electronics. So anything that like plugs into a wall, your TV, your Xbox, your PS5, all of those items, we literally take them apart, clean them, put them back together, which is really exciting if you are really into electronics or dry cleaning. Think about doing your laundry at your own house.
Thanks, really cool. I'm Marissa Beaver. I'm the owner of a mustard seed construction company and sewer experts. So what we do is I'm actually the only woman in the entire state of Colorado that holds our demolition A license, which means I can knock down any structure. There's no other woman that does that with me. I also own sewer experts, and so we do sewer repair, excavation, trenchless repairs. We also do small communities, Oakwood homes, KB homes, Bessler homes. So we do all the infrastructure, sewer, water, and excavation for that as well. My career path started in early childhood education. I thought I was going to be a teacher. And then I realized, no offense, I don't like kids. But I didn't realize that construction is just dealing with a bunch of big kids. So I ended up just going back into the field I thought I was gonna leave. So that's a little bit about me.
How's it going, guys? My name is Willie Razzo. I work for Toll Brothers Home Builder out here in Colorado. They're based throughout the country as well. And we build, in the community that I'm in, we have a total of 12 plants that we can build inside of there. And I handle everything from getting it out of the ground and getting it all the way up to finishes and getting it knocked out there. For me specifically, my career path is, I started off in high school, much like you guys. I would go work with my father after school, especially during the summer times because I played football, so I'd have to save money for the school year and kind of went through there. And I stayed as a laborer into a foreman as I was going to college, but then left the field after I graduated college. Found out that I didn't like computer science as much as I thought as I would, and I found my way back into construction afterwards. And so I've been here ever since. I worked for a GC for many years until I got on with Toll Brothers, just because commercial construction life can be a little bit hectic in the schedule isn't as nice as working for a home builder where you're kind of Monday through Friday, you don't really have to work weekends, so on and so forth. So, but there are pros and cons to both of them. Commercial construction is really awesome. It allows you the ability to build something that's kind of unique. You're going to get a set of plans like these guys here, and you can build one of them for a business owner. As for homeowners, you really are home building. You're really pertaining to the homeowner itself, the person who's buying the house, and so you're going to get a lot of their personal intricacies that they like, and you're kind of helping them build their dreams. So it's a little bit about what I do.
So the question is, what suggestions do you have for students looking to get into construction-related fields? Is there anything you would do differently from the way you did it, or anything you think you did right that you recommend? Anybody got it?
Yeah. So for me, it's going to be about what you guys find interesting. My background is more on the electrical side, low voltage specifically, and that's what kind of led me into this. Try and find what you guys like. What do you guys like to do? If you guys like to build something, maybe look into the carpenter's world. If you guys like working with plumbing, or like working with electrical, or working with tin. You can hop on with specific trades and learn that stuff. You can even start learning some of that stuff in school now, just to give you guys a leg up and go make a trade school maybe after high school is done. As far as for me and my thing, I don't think I would change it. I think with my degree in computer science, I think that really kind of set me up. It's made me better than what I do now, because there's a lot more technology in this world. I bring these plans because I want you guys to see these plans. However, I don't work on these plans. I have my iPad and I have digital sets of plans, and I use that more often because I'm in the field. Lugging these things around is very, very tiresome. You're having to walk around sets of plans, and I can build 12 different models. So to carry around 12 sets of plans, it's just such a weight down on you. So I do think that for me specifically, I wouldn't change anything the way I do to learn me to adapt with the changing world we have today, which you guys are all accustomed to. And then anything that you think you did right, you would recommend. I mean, I want you guys to go out there and venture. Go out there and build, get a feel for things. Don't just go out there and specifically stick to one line, because as you found, like what I said for me, I thought I was going to be in computer science. I thought I was going to work with computers, you guys. Here I am, far away. So I say you guys just kind of follow what you guys like and kind of go from there, or let's try a little bit of things and kind of get around like that. So.
Yeah, and I started, like I said, in architecture. I thought it was really neat, kind of seeing all the CAD and all of the drafting. And then I worked with engineering and worked with a lot of civil engineers. And that was really neat, just getting kind of my basis and background with that. But I think then I went to underground utilities, and I got to actually run an excavator and help install some of the utilities. And then I was in full building demolition. And I'm telling you, just the experience that I had kind of led me into building my own company. And the things that I learned from every company, the good things that I'm learning from the good things I learned from every company I was at is what I'm instilling in my current company. And I don't think that you really have to come out of high school or even go to college and think this is my one track and this is where I'm at. I mean, it's good to be focused and it's good to do that, but it's good to have experience. I think without all of these experiences, I wouldn't be able to have such a successful company that I have now. We actually were just a finalist for the Denver Business Journal Small Business Award, and I beat out hundreds of applicants from tech world to everything. It wasn't just construction. And it's because, I learned and I took what I learned, and then I made my own path. And it's okay to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say my biggest suggestion would be to follow your heart, right? So for me, I got lucky. I got a job at this company and realized that I got to help people day in and day out, right? We get to show up on what is their worst day, where they're dealing with a catastrophic loss in their home, and we also get to be there on their best day, when their home looks brand new and everything's been restored and the building's been brought back to the way it was before. And I would say, similar to everyone else on the panel, when I left high school and went off to college, I thought I was going to run my own daycare. And similar to some other panels, although I do like children, I realized I didn't want to run a daycare. And so one of the things that really made me successful and work my way up the corporate ladder to become president is learning all the different areas within the business, from accounting to finance to sales to the operational side. And I would just say, don't shut yourself off from those learning opportunities, that everything that you guys can do can kind of help you in your career path. So that would be my biggest advice or suggestions. And I definitely wouldn't do anything different, other than I may have finished college. I did not get my degree because I started working for the company when I was going to school. And sometimes you get blinded by the really good money that sits in construction work. And lo and behold, I left my college degree on the table. So that's probably one of the things I would maybe do differently. Just especially now that we're private equity held. When my business partners and I sold the business in 2020, and they all retired and I stayed on, it would have been really helpful to have some additional finance degrees under my belt for further advancement to eventually become the CEO. And that's something I have to do now at my late life in order to make that move. But as far as doing something right, I would just say sticking with it. There are plenty of times over the period of my career that I had a bad day at work, right? Packing out people's dirty clothing and doing laundry is not the most glamorous job, but that experience got me to where I am today. And so sometimes I would highly encourage people to not give up and realize that you're still going to have some bad days. If you work through it, there can be some really big rewards, especially, I mean, I've been at my company now for 29 years, so longer than all of you. I know, I'm really old.
Oh man, I'm gonna completely skew this panel. So I've only actually been operational for a year and a half. So I have not been in the construction industry for nearly as long as everybody else on the other 3/4 of this panel. I would say I have seen in my very short amount of time a huge opportunity for a lot of women to be in the industry is one part of it. The second is I don't think you necessarily have to go and do just construction. My background is not in construction at all. And I learned a lot in 2 years, but that allows you to be able to communicate with people. You have to be a good communicator, regardless if it's with the customer or if it's with your employees, if it's with the people you work with. I don't think I would have learned all of those things if I wouldn't have had everything that led up to that. So I worked my way through school. I actually went to school wanting to do events, and I did it for 15 years, and I never thought I would leave, and then that didn't work out. So then I was doing software sales because I could sell anything, and then my husband thought this was a great idea, and then I just jumped on board, and here I am with running an entire company and a crew of guys and doing all kinds of stuff to help homeowners and other contractors and commercial people. And it's basically full commitment on my side to say, all right, I'm gonna help be the subject matter expert, or me, which is a little bit easier to say, on that specific topic, so that someone can call me and say, hey, I have this question, and I can easily answer those questions. It's won us a lot of business, and it also instills a lot of trust. So I would say, yes, fill out everything. Even if you don't like something, that's even better than saying oh, I don't like it, and keep doing it, because you're gonna find a lot of things that you don't like before you find the things that you really do like. And then the things that you really do like, you'll be really good at those. So I don't know if I would change how this all happened, other than maybe you've done some construction previously, because there is a lot of opportunity in construction and in the trades. I think one of the really nice things that was not necessarily translated through a lot of other industries is that a lot of times you get paid to learn. That's not always a thing in a lot of other industries. They will pay you to do electrical, they'll pay you to do plumbing, they'll train you to get certified to do all of this. You don't have to do it for free. I don't know about you, but I had to do a lot of free volunteer work that I did not totally like to get the experience that they'll be yes, learn this, and just be a sponge. Don't think anything's above you or below you. Just absorb it all, do it, find out what you like.
So if you imagine that you are, let's say, average 16, and you don't know what you want to do, and some of you have spoken to this already, but just anything you would add about, okay, from my perspective, maybe this, maybe that, what do you do from that place? Anyone?
personally would get some sort of like a trade under my belt, welding, a CDL. I would look at something that can add to your resume, but also if something were to happen, push comes to shove, you can always drive somewhere, or you can always weld something, or do something like that. You'd be surprised, people are getting signing bonuses of like $15,000 to $20,000 just to be a driver at this point. That's a lot of money. You also don't have to pay to go to school for CDL, like she's saying. There are people that will pay for you to go and get all of your certifications and do driving. So if there's something that you know you want to be in construction, but you don't know how to really do that, honestly, you can go to any big trucking companies, and we need drivers. I'm telling you this because I'm always looking for drivers. So that's always something good that you should look into.
Yeah, again, I would say try, right? You guys, whether it's over the summer or whether it's internships, there's a ton of companies out there that give you opportunities. And when you think about what interests you, think about, are you interested in working with people, or are you more interested in working with a computer, or are you more interested, think about like what you enjoy spending time doing, right? Do you enjoy playing video games, right? Find something that maybe appeals to something that you really like doing, because if you find a career doing something that you enjoy, it'll never feel like work. And so I would say that would be the best thing, and try different things, because I think you might be surprised, you know, skiing hammer versus, you know, driving a truck versus cleaning something. You know, there's all different things that you can try. You might be surprised at what you enjoy, whether it's cooking, and there's so many amazing career paths out there. I would just start experimenting with those through paid education by working in a trade.
Even when you kids are here, you know, they may not have carpenter classes or plumbing classes or anything like that, but if you can get involved with anything that has it, I know that you guys have a greenhouse that may involve some type of plumbing or something, and that's what it is. You learn how to boil up the water. If they have any kind of building where you guys are learning how to build 2x4s or construct a building and hit them up, go around and do that. Like, just strike your curiosity. Go out there and just let it see it. If you find that you enjoy it, you want to continue down that path, and you guys can learn. Because as they're talking about, there a lot of these trades are offering to send you guys to school. They're offering you guys to learn your classes. You know, and get you guys certified and licensed. And you guys are getting paid. It's paid education at the same time. So it's something you guys really enjoy. Find a way to do it here. If they have the ability to do it, this is where you guys can learn.
I think the other thing I would add is like, I like it because it's the same solution, but it's always different. Like there's not, like even though the products that we install and help people with, those are the same, but no two houses are the same, no two solutions are the same. So if you like to problem solve and figure out what the next step is and what the next one after that is, like this is a great industry, and it's super dimensional. Like there's not, like you talk about construction, we're not talking about necessarily like digging a hole, we're talking about like from that all the way to the massive construction of like finished projects to architecture to like everything in between. There's so many different facets that you can learn to just like, it's the industry in general.
I mean, watch HGTV, right? I mean, watch, you guys are all into TikTok and videos. Follow some channels if there's something that interests you, right? If you get to see somebody in restoration, there's decon, right? So there's people that do crime scene cleanup. That's part of the restoration industry. My friend Rico Restoration, he's a restoration contractor I've worked with for 20 years, but now is on HGTV with a television show, rebuilding houses and homes. So just check out videos, check out TikToks. I think you'll see things that you're like, wow, that really looks interesting, and then find a path to do some type of internship.
So the last question for you before we open it up is, what is the best and worst thing about your particular role and or past construction roles you've had? So is there anything that like really sucked you want to make sure people know, or anything that you really, really love? Either now or a moment in your career where you're like, that was so fun. Whatever.
The best thing about my role is that I'm able to oversee the entire project. So again, start to just not, and it's not always fun. You know, I get in arguments almost every day, and it's just kind of what it is. It's an expectation you have to set, and you have to hold your ground because when you're managing an entire project, you can't. It's not always good to give. You know, it's give and take, but if you're always taking, then it becomes the harder part.
People, please excuse the interruption. Can Armando please come to the main office for dismissal? Armando to the main office for dismissal. Thank you.
So that's probably the worst part of my job is just managing. Always having to stay on top of the trades. We have sub-partners. We try to be more of a partnership versus a dictatorship, and we just tell them what to do. I always try to listen and work with them, but you find that happening sometimes. One of the past construction role that I've had that I did not like was I started labor. Labor is not fun. You know, like you are running around, you're picking up trash, you're sweeping, you're doing all the things that no one else wants to do. It's dirty, it's tiresome, but as a young body, it was, you know, at that point, can I be a laborer now? No way, you know? Would never happen, but that was probably the worst position I've had in the construction industry.
So do you feel like you have to do that in order to get further? That's sort of, I don't know if that's a myth or if that's real.
So I think that there's a level of respect that happens with it. It doesn't matter what trade, you're with, there's always the laborer of every trade. So it doesn't matter which area you start in, there's gonna be the guy. You know, and you work with excavators, you see the guy who's filling the tanks, and no one wants to do that. You know, it's hot outside. You're gonna stand behind a hot machine trying to figure getting that all taken care of, you know? Like, no. But everyone has that little rite of passage going through there. So if you have to pick up a broom, you have to pick up a broom if you're doing it, you know? It's just kind of like I said, rite of passage.
And if I understood correctly, you're saying that there's value in doing that so you understand other people later, which Marissa referred to as well. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So I'm going to piggyback on that. For about a year and a half, I was the person in the field, but also the person in the office. So I'd be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, be on site with the guys at 6 a.m., loading, offloading my excavators, making sure the guys were good, gluing pipe, smelling like poop because we work with poop. Like not even gonna lie. And then late at night, I would have to be in the office doing payroll, getting ready for the next job, pulling permits. So when I first started my company, it was a grinding type of thing. It was really, really hard. So that was probably the worst thing. But then sitting back and seeing all of my crews and knowing what they're capable of and knowing what I'm not going to put them through because I've been through that, I found a really good respect out of it. I learned respect in what they do and you know how I'm not going to treat people. But also it brings me joy because I'm able to grow my business, but I know every facet of my business. If something were to happen and we're shut down, I can be the laborer, I can be the pipe layer, I can do whatever I need to do in my company because I know all parts of it.
That's awesome. And so in restoration, I would say it's hard to say best and worst. Obviously, like you deal with raw sewage, right? We also deal with smoky, right, smelly, stinky, burnt stuff. Obviously that can be, but we also, you know, we go into multi-million-dollar homes. Larry Walker's home. I'm going to name a bunch of people that none of the kids in the room know. So we'll stop at Larry Walker. Thanks. So there's something really cool about like you go out on a job and all of a sudden you're in this multi-million-dollar home helping to restore. That's really exciting. But for me, I would say the best and the worst parts of the job have been, as I've moved up into leadership, is the worst part is having to manage a difficult situation with an employee. Having to fire staff because of lack of performance. Those are the things that I would say have been like the worst part of my job. As you move up, right, the more responsibility sits on you, the higher up in a corporation that you sit, right? The stress of making sure that your employees are all going to get paid when business slows down, right? Those are things that I would say, as you work your way up in the company, those are stresses that definitely are the worst. But the best is when you get to see things like, I've had employees that started with me as a technician at the age of 18, and now they're in management and they're buying their first house all on their own. And there's something really exciting to see somebody reach, whether it's a financial space within their career path that they didn't ever think, right? They're making their first 6-figure year and they never thought they'd make 6 figures. There's something really awesome about that too. So those I would say are my best and worst.
You already touched on it. The men in construction are worse than the women in hospitality. I will tell you that. I would The other is just being humble of, yes, you have to kind of start small to know what you're getting into, but in the same respect, because you've done it, you can jump in and do it whenever you need to, which ultimately saves your business. I mean, I drive a car in our rig and like, I will not spring bump, but I will blow an attic. Like there are certain things that I am not certified and cannot do, but being able to find every facet that you can makes you an asset to wherever you go. So if you are a laborer and you go and you follow or shadow someone else and then you find that that's not really a fit, like you take all of those experiences and it builds you into a valuable employee and potentially an entrepreneur and an owner of a company to say, oh, I've done all these things because I operate exactly like you do. Like I'm not going to send our crew somewhere that I wouldn't do it myself. So I think in that respect too, like people are people. And sometimes construction is just on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. So I think that it's starting to kind